Bismillah. Welcome back, Zoo Crew. So, I saw this very interesting take yesterday about artificial intelligence, where the guy is pretty much saying, I have never used AI and I will never use AI because it's literally in the name artificial intelligence, right? And his whole logic or point was you have God given intellect and God given wisdom. So, why would you want artificial intelligence, right? Instead of your natural intelligence. And I was like, yo, facts. This actually makes sense. And then he was essentially explaining it like, if I'm going to put sweetener in my coffee or like artificial sweetener, like one is synthetic and it's going to give you more issues than the actual sugar, right? And I don't know if that was really a good metaphor on his part, just because I know a lot of people will use artificial sweeteners instead of like sugar or honey, just because it has 0 calories. But yeah, the point being that we were all given intelligence by God, right? So why is it that we don't rely on our own intelligence? And I think it's because as a species, we've kind of grown and become lazy, right? And a lot of the problems in the world is really because people don't read, right? And even the people who do read don't really know how to read, right? So when you're reading a book, first of all, not everything in the book is going to be worth absorbing because they can't just sell a little 20-page booklet for $20, right? They have to add some fluff into it and give it some heft so people buy it. And that, like, really, if you're going to be reading a book, first read the title, open the book, read the table of contents, read every chapter, title, get like a feel for what the book's about, and then go and read the chapters, right? And again, the whole point of reading a book is not to memorize the information. It's to know what information is in the book. So if ever that becomes relevant in your life, you know where to go and find the information, right? And again, this ties into what I was talking about yesterday, where like people will go and ask ChatGPT for advice, and really, like, how can ChatGPT advise you on your life? It's not a human. It hasn't had any human experiences, right? So it can like scrape the internet, which is mostly Reddit, and then kind of just come up with some generic kind of answer that it thinks is going to please you, or that it's going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And really, like, you have to go out and experience life on your own, right? You have to go and make mistakes. You have to just kind of stumble through the world and be human, right? Because that's how you're going to cultivate your intelligence. And you have to explore different realms, different areas, and become an expert in different things, right? Because in the last maybe 20 to 40 years, everyone became a specialist, right? So people know a lot about one thing, but when it comes to things outside of their areas of expertise, they're clueless. And I think that's why it's so easy for them to be manipulated, especially by the government or propaganda or marketing. And I think in this next 20 to 40 years, the people who are generalists, so you have like a general knowledge of many things, are going to be the ones to get ahead, right? And I think you got to look at it like the analogy of like spinning plates. So you spin like 10 different plates in 10 different like realms or areas, find what actually resonates with you, and then go deep on a few of those things, right? And then once you've kind of like reached the depths in one, now you can add something else and go deep into that. So really learn to rely on your own intelligence. Don't be persuaded into thinking a robot or like a computer is smarter than you, because guess what? Humans are the ones who created the AI. Humans are the ones who created the computers and technology, right? It's not like the AI was able to create itself. So don't fall for this trap. And for those of you who think that AI is your therapist, again, be very mindful that it is not your therapist. Do not rely on it for life advice unless you want to blow up your life. And I'm speaking from experience because I have tried to use ChatGPT as like a therapist, and I've asked it for advice on like other shit. And generally that just made things much worse, you know? And plus people are at the point now where like they can tell that it's not you talking and it's like the chatbot talking on your behalf. So just avoid it. Like there's really no good that will come from relying on AI. The only thing that will come of that is you will become stupid, right? And I guess like a good metaphor for this is back in the day when we had cars without backup cameras or without GPS, people were much better drivers, right? Now because there's so much technology like sensors, backup cameras, and all of this like GPS and whatnot, people don't remember routes to get to places. People are not able to back their car up without relying on the backup camera. People are not able to park properly without like hitting something because they've gotten so accustomed to all of these parking sensors beeping when they get close to a car, right? So relying on technology will make you weak and stupid. And look, like you can leverage and utilize technology as a tool, but when you become dependent on it, that's when things become scary, right? And another kind of example of this is where there was like a young group that joined this like part of the military, and they're going through like training to like learn how to navigate using a compass and a map, right? And now one of the young kids is like asking the commander or the sergeant, whatever, like, why are we doing this, when we have GPS? And then like some of the older people in the army were, oh, like don't ask these things, like you're not allowed to ask questions. And like this guy was asking the question because he like truly wanted to know, he wanted to understand. And like the commander was like, well, that's great, but what are you going to do in a scenario where there's a blackout or all of the signals are being jammed and your GPS is not working, right? Then you're going to literally be lost in some enemy territory and not able to navigate. This is why you need to know how to navigate with a map and a compass. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, true, that makes sense, right? And then ended up becoming the best navigator of the group, right? So the point being is technology will make your life comfortable and easy, but at the same time, it will make you stupid. So don't just rely on technology. Cultivate your own intelligence, cultivate your own skills, and live your own life, I guess you could say. But yeah, outside of that, like this big ass red box behind me, that's the IM8. So I got the 90-day supply. I'm gonna use this for the next 90 days and find out if it works or not, or if it was all just marketing tactics and a scam. Because somebody reached out to me being like, oh yeah, like I didn't really get any benefits, so like I think it was just like marketing scam. And it very well might be, but we'll see in 90 days. I don't want to judge without having given it a full run. And yeah, tomorrow is going to be my first day back in car sales. I'm going to be at Prio. I did have my interview today with Civic Motors, second interview. However, I haven't heard back yet, so I'm going to wait to see what happened, if I got the job or not. Because really, I think that would be a good fit for me, considering from what I understood, they really need somebody who's good on the phone and can like get people into the dealership from like a phone call. And given my experience at Black Card, like it was literally all phone sales. So it seems like it would be a good fit. Plus, I like the brand. I think I would have a much easier time selling Hondas than any other car, given that I used to be the guy who would change his car every 2 years, and now I've had this Honda Pilot since like 2016. But yeah, all in all, things are trending in the right direction. Alhamdulillah for everything. Ramadan is right around the corner, guys, so start preparing for that as well. I gotta call my doctor and figure out if I'm gonna be able to fast or not, just given like the medications and shit that I'm on. But yeah, peace out, Zoo Crew. We'll see you tomorrow.